Last year's Samsung Galaxy S20 was a solid phone, but it suffered from some issues with the camera and started at a hefty $1,000. Now, a year later, we have a follow-up to the phone, in the Samsung Galaxy S21. And guess what? It fixes most of the issues that people had with the Galaxy S20, starts at a lower price for the entry-level Galaxy S21, and has a stunning new design. But while the price of entry is lower this year than it was last year, the Galaxy S21 still isn't cheap. At a starting price of $800, you better be getting among the best smartphones out there. Thankfully, you are. The Samsung Galaxy S21 series is a step up for Samsung. Here's everything you need to know. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support my work and I would appreciate that support. The most immediately obvious difference between the Galaxy S20 and the Galaxy S21 is the design. From the front, the phones are pretty similar, with an edge-to-edge display and hole-punch cutout for the front-facing camera. On the back, things are a little different. Notably, the Galaxy S21 has a larger camera bump, which melts into the frame of the phone. It's a really nice look. I love the concept of the frame extending into the camera bump. The device is also available in a series of really nice colors, and this gold on purple is one of my favorites. As mentioned, the Galaxy S21 series starts at a lower price than the S20, and that means making a few trade-offs. One of those comes in the form of the plastic back, similar to that found on the Galaxy S20 FE. Both the Galaxy S21 Plus and the Galaxy S21 Ultra have a glass back, which makes for a slightly more premium feel, but the standard Galaxy S21 still looks and feels great. Sure, you could still get a glass build on an $800 phone, but I promise that you won't really notice the difference here. It feels great in the hand and still feels like a very premium phone. The display on the Galaxy S21 is absolutely stunning. It's an OLED display with a variable refresh rate between 48Hz and 120Hz, and that makes for beautifully smooth animations and an incredibly responsive feel. Of course, the display is where Samsung made another cut, in the form of resolution. While the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has a 1440p resolution, the standard S21 steps things down to a 1080p resolution. Frankly, you don't really notice the difference. Sure, a 1440p resolution might make for slightly sharper text, but the fact is that it still looks beautiful, with vivid colors and the ability to get nice and bright. The variable refresh rate isn't as intense as the Galaxy S21 Ultra's 10Hz to 120Hz, but it still works very well. With this tech, the phone can scale down the refresh rate to save battery when you're doing things that don't really need a high refresh rate, like looking at text. Or it can scale back up for scrolling and animations to make things look nice and smooth. Alternatively, you can switch to a constant 60Hz refresh rate if you want to. The phone also has a fingerprint sensor under the display, and it's fast and responsive. The Galaxy S21 is the first phone with Qualcomm's new larger ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, and it's about time we got this improvement. On the rare occasion that the sensor did fail, it always worked the second time, but that happening was a lot rarer than on the Galaxy S20. That pretty much is where the trade-offs end. The Galaxy S21 offers a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor in the US or an Exynos 2100 internationally, coupled with 8GB of RAM and either 128GB or 256GB of storage. On the more expensive Galaxy S21 Plus and Galaxy S21 Ultra, you'll get more RAM, but unless you're a really heavily multitasker or are super intense about mobile gaming, you probably won't notice much of a difference. Already, the Samsung Galaxy S21 is one of the best phones out there, boasting excellent performance. It never stuttered or crashed in my testing. Mobile games loaded nice and quickly, and multitasking was nice and smooth. That's important, considering the fact that it means that the device can fully take advantage of the high refresh rate. The excellent performance was confirmed in benchmarks. In Geekbench 5, the device achieved an impressive 1087 in Geekbench 5's single-core score and 3286 in its multi-core score. These are excellent scores and show that the device is at the top of the Android phone game. But the scores don't quite match a certain other phone. The iPhone 12 is still the best performing phone out there, and it's not even really close. This doesn't really matter right now, but in a few years the Galaxy S21 might start to slow down a little, while the iPhone 12 will probably still be performing as well as it always has. Still, day-to-day use of the Galaxy S21 is an absolute dream, as are things like mobile gaming. Playing games like Call of Duty Mobile was smooth and fast, and it never felt like the phone was slowing down. The battery life on the Galaxy S21 is solid. The device has a 4000 mAh battery, and I found that it was able to pretty easily get me through a full day of use and into the next day. The battery life in general is affected by the 120Hz refresh rate, but the lower resolution probably helps a bit with that, and while you don't get days long usage, most should get at least a day. The phone also offers offers wireless charging and fast charging, so if you find yourself running low, you should be able to top up relatively quickly. My battery test confirms the solid battery life. After streaming a YouTube video for 3 hours on full brightness, the device had 74% of its battery left. That's about on par with the iPhone 12, however not quite as good as the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Next up is the camera. The standard Samsung Galaxy S21 and Galaxy S21 Plus offer a 12 megapixel main camera with a 64 megapixel telephoto camera and a 12 megapixel ultrawide camera. The result is a very versatile experience. For triple camera setups, this is exactly the setup I would have wanted. Photos taken with this phone are vibrant, detailed, and frankly, beautiful. That's true in almost all situations. In well-lit environments, you'll get great photos. Images look colorful and bright, and the HDR on the phone is excellent. In dark environments, you'll still get excellent photos thanks to the phone's night mode. And while the phone doesn't have the 10x optical zoom camera found on the Galaxy S21 Ultra, it does have a great 3x optical zoom camera, and zoomed shots generally look pretty good. Of course, if you zoom in all the way to 30x, which uses 10x digital zoom combined with 3x optical zoom, things look pretty grainy, but anything up to around 10x looks pretty good. The phone has a number of extra camera features that make for a better experience too. For example, there's single take, which basically captures a variety of shots using all three sensors and lets you choose the best one. Another cool feature is the new director's view mode, which lets you shoot video with the front and rear cameras at the same time. It's geared towards vloggers, but it lets you get some cool stuff. If you've seen my videos before, you know I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Samsung's One UI, but the implementation of One UI on the Galaxy S21 is fine. There's still some bloatware in the form of pre-installed Microsoft apps, but you can remove most of those if you want to. If you already like One UI, you'll like the version of it on the Galaxy S21, but if you're more of a stock Android fan, like me, then you probably won't. Personal preferences aside, Samsung traditionally hasn't been very good at pushing quick updates to users. That seems like it might be starting to change a little, with Android 11 now rolling out to last year's phones, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with the next Android rollout. The Samsung Galaxy S21 is a hit. It's easily one of my favorite Android phones to date, thanks to its stunning new design, excellent performance, beautiful camera, and more. Add the fact that it's $200 cheaper than last year's model, and frankly, this is the Galaxy S20 phone most Samsung fans should get. Sure, the Galaxy S21 Ultra has a lot of bells and whistles, but it's also a whole lot more expensive, and honestly, probably not worth it. Even if you're not a Samsung fan, the Galaxy S21 is worth considering. In my opinion, it's the best Android phone currently available for the price. And while that could eventually change with upcoming devices, if you need a new phone now, you really can't go wrong with this one. You can get the Samsung Galaxy S21 for yourself using the link in the description. Thanks again for watching the video, and please hit the like button and subscribe if it was helpful to you. My name is Christian, and I'll see you next time. See ya.